welcome to another episode of Momentos and Voices. Super excited to have a dear friend of mine here today in the studio, Eleany Ochoa. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too.
Finally.
Yes, this has been an episode about a year and a half in the making.
That's right.
But I'm really happy that you're here. Someone that I truly admire, someone that I really like, someone that I love as a friend. And somebody that does something very unique as a profession. You know, you are a spiritual healer.
Yes.
Tell me more of the titles that
Yes.
you have mentioned before.
It's hard to explain because, like you said, what I do is very unique. That I describe it as spiritual healer, but whatever people call me, I'm fine with. You could call me a psychic medium. Just a medium, just a psychic. I describe it as spiritual healing because I go beyond just most mediums. When they see you, they will give you a reading, and that's it. They'll tell you about your life, about what they see, and then you leave. But I go a little bit further beyond just reading you, and we do healing. Healing practices, healing exercises during the session. So that's how I came up with the spiritual healer part. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
I want to talk a little bit. Obviously, we're really going to get into what spiritual healing is. And we're actually going to even have a demonstration
Yes,
here
I'm
today.
very excited.
Me too. But before all of that, I always like to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So tell me just a quick summary of who you are and how you started developing this talent.
Yeah. So, quick summary of who I am. I grew up in Mexico. I moved here when I was 19. I moved here for college, and I did my undergrad in psychology, and then I did my master's in therapy, in psychotherapy. And how I came to be a spiritual healer is kind of like a lifelong journey. I do believe that this is a gift that I was born with. At the same time, I believe everyone can develop this gift. I believe some people, it's just easier for them. It comes more natural. I think I'm one of those people. Throughout my whole life, I had experiences that were very hard to deal with, hard to explain, that no one could truly understand, that I didn't understand until I was well into my mid-20s. And all of that, you know, is because I was born with this gift. And so, I don't know, do you want me to tell you about the experiences or?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I grew up really, a constant theme in my life was just being a fearful child. I was not scared of everything, but I was always scared. And now I know why. I know it's because I felt. So let me back up and start over a little bit. So when someone passes, when someone dies, gate opens. You could describe it that way. In heaven, I see it as like this door with light, and the light is coming down, and then someone from heaven comes to pick your soul up, and then you go into your life, you know, after death. And when you die and you're really scared to go because you're scared to face things you think, you know, you've done that are bad, you're experiencing shame, you're scared, or you died very suddenly, and you don't go, that door closes. And it doesn't open again. It opens at certain times. And so those souls are living in that shame that we were talking about, that I was talking about earlier. And they are looking for a way to go back to heaven. And so when they notice they're, I don't want to say among us, but yeah, but not in the way that you would see in movies. They cannot perceive the world as we do, but they do perceive people who perceive them. Does that make sense? Sure. So when they see someone, oh, this person is noticing me, they'll try to get help, right? And it's like, you can help me cross over. Yeah. And they're not bad people. They're not bad souls. They're nothing to be scared of. But if you don't know what you're dealing with, it is very scary.
Especially at a young age.
Especially at a young age. And especially if your senses, there are different senses that you can develop to communicate with God and with them, with the universe, with your intuition. And the strongest sense for me has always been feeling other people's emotions. And so because I always felt that shame and that fear that those souls were in, I was always scared. But I was just feeling their feelings. And I thought I would get random information about them, like, oh, it's like a man, 34 years old, died this way. He's wearing this. He's worried about his mom. Or I would get information. I would think it was my imagination. I would run to my parents.
Scared, obviously.
Yeah, scared. Yeah. But my parents didn't know what they didn't know, right? I grew up with very loving and supportive parents, and they would say, you probably were having a bad dream, or maybe, you're imagining it. It's all in your head. I'll go check your room. There's nothing under the bed, What parents do.
No monsters in the closet.
Exactly what I do now with my kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually I came to the point in life where I guess I always knew. Yeah. I was like in denial.
Yeah.
In very severe denial, because when I think about experiences that I had or things I knew I could do, I'm like, how did I not realize
that's what was happening?
That's what was happening, yeah. Like I knew I could, I could feel my sister miles away in another city being sad. And I knew I could pull up a picture and know why she was sad. And I knew that if I called her, she would feel better. And I wouldn't tell her like, hey, I know you're sad. I would just call her to chat, But I didn't know what I was doing. I would just do it.
And at what point did you start realizing that that's what was happening to you?
Yeah. So all of this happened throughout my life.
Since you were a little girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was very, very little, I'm talking like under 4 years old.
Wow.
I was able to see physically.
Okay.
But then I got really scared because I saw my guardian angel and I couldn't see him in person. I could only see him in the mirror. But I saw him like I'm seeing you right now. And ever since then, I stopped seeing, and all my other senses heightened. And I think that's why it took me so long to get out of denial, because I could rationalize everything else, right? You can't rationalize seeing someone, right, which I do see now.
You developed it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It comes and goes. I get scared, and then I close it, and I only see in my mind's eye. But, yeah, so all my other senses developed. And just to talk briefly about the other senses, it's sight, hearing, taste, touch and smell, and just knowing. And all of those are a little different than just physically. So you can either experience them physically or in your mind's eye, like seeing someone or seeing someone or something in your mind's eye, smelling something physically, tasting something. And the touch part can also be feeling other people's feelings, which has historically been my strongest, my strongest sense. And so it all came to a head when I turned 27, and 7 is a very magical number, you could say. Typically mediums will have important things happen to them when they're 7, 17, 27, 37, 47. When there's a 7, yeah. And so the whole year prior to me, so my whole 26th year of life was a very hard year for me. Everything that I had experienced throughout my life sporadically, I began experiencing it more and more frequently. And I was living alone at the time in an apartment. And bless his heart, if it wasn't for my little dog who's still with me. I know, he's getting old. But if it wasn't for him, I don't know how I would have survived that year. But now I understand why that happened. So about a few months before my 27th birthday, my cousin and best friend, she said, "Oh my God, you're never going to believe what happened. I booked a session with a psychic medium. She's amazing. You should totally see her." And I'm a therapist, right? And I was doing a lot of research. I was used to evidence-based practice, scientific mind. I was like, that is not true. Like
It's
people,
not real.
yeah, this is not real. Like
Scam.
people who do that are like scamming you, and they're just like going off cues of what you say. It's like tricks they can use. Like everyone has something in their past. Everyone has been through hard things. So they're just gonna tell you you have a scar near your knee, and everyone has a scar in their knee. Like who didn't fall when they were kids, right? And she was like, "No, I swear she's legit. She told me things nobody could know. You should see her. I'm going to book an appointment." I was like, fine. Who could it hurt, you know?
Yeah.
So she booked it out a few months out. And close to the date, she reschedules for like 2 weeks out, right after my 27th birthday. And so I have my birthday. I meet with her. And I'm in my office at the time. And I took my lunch hour to take the appointment. And so I go to my car. And as soon as the session starts, she goes, "Oh, so I don't know what you're doing here. If you could read yourself, but okay, here we go. So as you know, you're a medium as well as I am." I'm like, wait. I think you have me confused, because it was on the phone. It wasn't even Zoom or anything. I was like, "I think you have me confused with someone else. I'm your 2 o'clock. My name is Eleany. I'm in San Antonio, Texas." She's like, "Yeah, no, I know. I have the right person. You're a medium." I start bawling. It's not even the right word, because I was beyond crying.
Hysterical.
But no sound was coming out. Okay. I was just like, but tears were coming out, like so much. I was like, I felt it, like just so many tears. I was like, because I knew it was true, right? You don't cry if you don't want to believe it. Yeah, I didn't want to believe it. So I was like, no, this isn't true. I don't think so. I think you have the wrong person. She's like, "No, all those things that happened to you are because you're a psychic medium." And so she started reciting my whole year, which had been really hard in terms of like what I was talking about like souls that are in pain and like seeking my help. And I talked to nobody about that because I was very scared of it. I didn't like thinking about it. I didn't like talking about it. Never mentioned it to a therapist or a priest or no one. I mean, when I was little, but other than that, no. And so she goes, "You have been through a really hard year. All these things that are happening to you are happening because you need to open your eyes. And like once you learn about this and once you learn to control it and stop it controlling you, you're going to live a much happier life." And I was like, "But I don't want to. How do I turn it off? Can you tell me how to turn it off?" She's like, "You can't. People can turn it on and off. But you were born with it, and this is a gift, and this is something you're going to experience your whole life. So to me, that was like a death sentence. I was like crying. I did not see it as a gift at the time. I was very scared. And she said, your guides, I think of them as my angels. She's used the word guides. She said, your guides have been trying to reach out, but you're scared of them. Because right now you don't know how to distinguish your guides, an angel from like a soul in pain. Your guide, your main guide is right now outside your door. And I was like, yeah, because I felt someone with me that day. I felt someone follow me to my car, and I was like, oh, go away. I would just say, go away. And sometimes they would leave, and then they would, I would say, go away in my room, and then I would go to my car, and they were there. Oh, sorry. I got chills because I had this memory of seeing someone in my rear view mirror. Because I do see physically, but for a time I only saw glimpses.
Okay.
But it was very scary for me. And I was like, yeah. And she said, he's standing right where the rear view mirror is. And I was like, yeah, I know. In my mind, I was like, yeah, I know that. I've been feeling him staring at me. And she said, but he means no harm. He's here to help you. Like, he was designed to help you. Like, he came to earth to help you, sent by God. Ask him his name. And I said, how? She said, just ask in your mind, what's your name? So I go, okay, what's your name? In my mind, I close my eyes. And I don't remember if I thought or I heard. I think I just think Esteban. And I go, I don't know. I've always liked that name, so I didn't think
that it was
anything.
that, yeah.
And so she goes, I'm hearing it, but I can't understand it because do you speak another language? It's in another language. And I go, yeah, I speak Spanish. She said, it sounds to me like Steven. Oh my gosh. And I go, yeah, well, just now when I asked him, I heard, or I thought of Esteban, which is Steven, I think. Yeah. And she goes, there you go. Why didn't you tell me? And I said, I thought it was my imagination. And later I learned at another course that it is your imagination. Your imagination is a vehicle that God, your angels, your guides, the universe, uses to communicate with you. So I said, I thought it was my imagination. And she said, it was him. You need to trust it. You need to learn how to trust it. And she said, whenever I get a new guide, because our guides or angels come and go, we get one throughout our whole life, and then we get some that come during a specific time to help us with a difficult period of time, and then they leave, and then they may come back. I've had guides that leave and then come back. She said, whenever I get a new guide, I ask him or her to confirm their name 3 times before I believe it. She said, you have to, because you thought it first, and then I said it. I confirmed it. So now wait for the 3rd. And I said, how is that going to happen? She said, you're going to hear it randomly on the radio. You're going to turn on the TV right when somebody says that name. You're going to meet someone significant. Something's going to happen. I go, okay. Few weeks go by. I think it was like about a month when I go to Target. And I wasn't there to shop. I was there to just buy one thing. I wasn't there to, like browse.
Right.
So I go to my Target. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly where it is. And I feel the need to take a turn and go that way. But it wasn't that way. Just a detour. I go, okay, I'm going to go this way. I don't know why. And as I'm walking, I see on the wall like a name tag, one of the employees' name tags, new. It still had the bottom half of the sticker on the wall, and it said Steven. Oh I know. And I go, and then I see him, his silhouette, a few aisles, kind of hiding because I was still scared of him. I know. That was incredible. And so I was like, okay, I believe you. It's you. Your name's Steven. Okay, Esteban. I talked to him in both Spanish and English. And because I was in shock in the moment, I didn't take the sticker, and later I regretted it. And I went on the Christmas break and the holidays, and then I came back to San Antonio, and I forgot. But the very next day, or that day, I don't remember. I think it was that very same day. I asked him, like, okay, if this is for real, make sure that sticker is there when I come back. And it was in a very, like, visual. It wasn't hidden.
Okay.
It was like
if anybody saw it, they could have taken it and
yeah,
thrown
it was
away.
like right next to an employee entrance to like one of the back doors. Okay. I don't know. So I was like, it's for sure not going to be there. And then I came back and didn't go for a few weeks. And when I went, it was still there. I know. And I still have it with me. I carry it. I put it on a card, blank card, and I put it in my wallet. I know.
So that was very real to you. I mean,
that was
a big sign for
a
sure.
big sign. So right after I talked to that medium, everything I had been experiencing intensified. Okay. I don't even want to say tenfold because that doesn't cover it. It was like every minute of every day. It was really, really hard. One of the hardest months of my life. And so I emailed her 3 days after the appointment, and I said, hey, just like to recap, this is, who I am. This is what we talked about in session. Everything we talked about is happening tenfold or 100-fold. I don't know what to do. I'm super scared. I tried to book an appointment with you, but you're booked out till February, and it was December. No, it was November. She was like, you know what? I can make an exception. I'll see you on a Saturday. Can you do this Saturday this time? I was like, yeah, for sure. And so she gave me tips and told me kind of what to do. She said, like, focus on God, ask God to be with you, and you can help them cross over. And I was like, yeah, I've been helping them cross over my whole life, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so she told me a little bit, and she said, I went to this school in the UK that was very helpful, and I highly recommend it. So I booked a course, but it was a few months out. So I did what I always do, which is read. So I bought books, saw YouTube videos, heard podcasts, and just started learning on my own. Everything turned or changed for me for the better when I met Archangel Michael, because I kept hearing, I heard it in Spanish. So I heard, soy Miguel, pídeme ayuda. So this is Michael, ask for help. And it's funny, I heard it here. So that should have been a sign, but I didn't know it at the time. But this is where we connect to God. So this is like divine, I heard it. It was always here. But I was like scared. I grew up Catholic, right? So they always tell you, don't open the door. Don't just. Those
are things from the devil.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to be asking help from any Miguel, I don't know who this Michael is. And then I came across, I think it was a podcast that was like the miracles of Archangel Michael. And I was like, maybe this is who I've been hearing. So I connected with God first, and I said, can you send me Archangel Michael? And it was much easier for me to connect, like to understand our Archangel Michael than God at the time. Right now I can understand God and the way he communicates with me. But at the time, I could understand Archangel Michael better. So everything changed. And so my life became more peaceful. Then I did go to, it's a little town north of London. I did go there. I took a course, took more courses online, ended up hiring a coach. For 6 months, I met with her. I think it was like maybe once or twice a week. And we talked on the phone all the time. And as part of her coaching series, I needed to, she said, to graduate, you need to do at least 50 psychic readings. I said, okay, but I'm not really interested in becoming, like, doing this as a service. Like, I love my career. She said, yeah, but you're never going to really learn to communicate and to understand it unless you do it. So she said, just do it for the sake of graduating. I said, or like earning your diploma or whatever, or finishing the course. I was like, okay, I'll do it. She said, I have a list of people, but just ask in your circle if anyone is open to it. And so I did, and people were interested. It was amazing how I did one reading after another, after another, after another. I finished the course, and people kept, calling me. And I was like, I mean, technically, I don't do it anymore, but yeah, fine. Like, yeah, I can do it for you if you want. So I'm a therapist at heart, right? So it was very weird for me to have someone come in and they would either tell me if they wanted just like a reading of them, what I do at, I don't know if I explained it in the podcast or in the interview yet, but as I connect to God and I am shown a snapshot of your soul and everything that's going on with you emotionally. And then I tell you what's going on with you emotionally and how you can heal. And I always ask, if I'm going to see this person today, what do they need to hear? What is the most important thing they need to heal? In case this is the last time I see them. Yeah. And then if I continue working with them, then is the second, we heal as you go. But at the time, all the courses just taught me to read people and then send them on their way. And that felt very weird to me. It's like, okay, let me spend an hour talking about everything that's wrong with you. And then bye-bye, you can go. Yeah, it just didn't feel like natural to me.
Solution.
Yeah, but I didn't know what to do. I couldn't incorporate. It didn't feel like I could incorporate like my knowledge from psychology because I have my license and I abide by those rules, and that's mental health, and this is different. It's emotional healing. So I just started doing, again, what I do, reading. And so I read a book called Angel Therapy and just a lot of books that I realized that a lot of books I had already read had a lot of exercises that help you as a medium and that I could incorporate it into my sessions. And so when I decided to do that, then in the sessions, God started guiding me. And it was like, okay, now you're going to do this healing. Remember the divine love healing. And I would say, yes, okay, we're going to do that one, or we're going to do this one. Or then I would decide, oh, this exercise would be perfect. And I would hear yes or no. And so that's what I do now.
So that's what where you found your calling and your mission.
Yes.
And I have a question. So going a little bit back to the whole growing up Catholic, your parents being very Catholic. I grew up super Catholic too.
Yeah.
And we, like you said.
And I was very Catholic. Yes. I mean, I still consider myself Catholic. I consider myself now more spiritual than religious, to be honest. Yeah. But I myself, I wouldn't just say that my parents were Catholic. I was really Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that conversation go with your parents, and how did that journey happen with them when you told them?
It was really hard for me because as Catholics, we always hear, like I said, like, don't open that door, don't go to anyone. Like, that's the devil, like, that's not good. So I sat them down. I waited. They don't live in San Antonio, so I waited until I saw them in person. And I said, I have something really important to talk to you about. And I said, I've come to the realization that I am a medium, and this is something that I've had my whole life. And it resonated with them because
they knew.
Yeah. And I said, and I know it's against everything we believe, but I've been learning about it, and I've been feeling happier, and I'm closer to God than ever. And it's nothing to be scared of, and it's nothing against the church and nothing against
God.
Anything that's good, And they said, that's so funny. We're having this conversation right now because for the last few months, we've been seeing this woman. Her name is Tanya Karam she's Catholic, and she has the ability to talk to angels, and she does so good for the world. And so I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that was God, the universe. I use those words interchangeably. Preparing my parents for my awakening, for me finally coming to terms with who I am, or deciding to that this gift is a gift and not a curse, like I thought it was a curse.
And it happened right when it needed to.
Exactly.
Happen,
Everything
God's
aligned.
time.
Everything aligned. Yeah. It was like a year of things aligning, and the week I turned 27, everything changed.
And I just thought of this question, but what would you tell people? How can they be careful? Because I'm assuming, like with everything, with every other business, with every other thing, profession, I'm sure there's people out there that will want to take advantage of people.
Yeah.
How would you tell, or what would you tell somebody so that they are aware of when it's somebody genuine who really wants to help?
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody that's just there to.
Yeah, I think you can get an impression right away when you meet someone, and that first gut feeling, trust it. Yeah. If you do know how to trust your gut feeling, because your gut feeling can also be confused with your fear, right? So let go of your fear, and I would just say the personal ethics that someone has say a lot about them, right? So if someone offers you to read somebody else, I would say that's a red flag, right? So reading other people never felt right for me. I knew I could do it, and I kind of did it at the beginning, and it didn't feel right, and so I stopped doing it. And thank God I did, because later I learned that you're not supposed to interfere with other people's free will, right? So I will only read people that have given me consent. In the session. Yeah. Unless, so say I'm reading you and God tells me something about your husband, your mom, your kid, your whoever, then I will give you that information because I didn't ask for it. I was just given, it was given to me. So who I am to not give you that information. So something else is like urgency. So if someone is trying to book the appointment, maybe that's a red flag. Yeah. I can't think of your
intuition.
Yeah, trust your intuition.
And
as with everything, like when you look for a new therapist or a new doctor, if you're talking to someone and something doesn't feel right, you have the right to say, you know what, I'm going to end this session right now. I don't feel comfortable. Yeah. Or if you don't want to say that, you can just say, I forgot I had an appointment and it's urgent.
I gotta go. Thank you.
Yeah. If something doesn't feel right, you're never obligated to stay there. Yeah.
And so you've obviously made this your passion. You found your mission through this. What has been the response, not only for the people that you're seeing, but for yourself? Like, how do you feel when you're helping so many people and you really are working in what you were called to be doing?
Yeah. So it's definitely rewarding, but I will say because I'm still a therapist, but it's different. It's like two different practices. Right. I have my spiritual practice and then I have mental health practice. So being a therapist was already rewarding, but doing this, first of all, it's rewarding. It got really rewarding to the point where I was able to incorporate healing into the readings, because for a while I was just reading people and sending them on their way and giving them resources like, hey, I can't be your therapist because I already read for you, but here's, a really good therapist that can help you with this, So I was like sending them to therapy. But then also as a therapist, I was carrying so much because I was doing just the work myself. And as a spiritual healer, I am not, because I'm not doing the work. I'm like an intermediate. Yeah, I ask God for the healing, and there's like specific wording, and I witness the healing. That's very important. And I just communicate what my client wants, and is done through God, not through me. So I used to end my days as a therapist exhausted to the point when I met my husband, and we were dating. I remember I would come out of work and tell him, like, can we be silent for an hour? And he was like, yeah. But as a therapist, you learn to ask for things that are weird, right? Yeah. And so it's like I just spent 9 hours talking about sexual abuse. I just need silence, you know? And with the healings, I don't need that because I'm working through God. And so it feels good. It feels also fulfilling in the way that it goes much faster than traditional therapy, because I have the experience of like different modalities as a therapist, and different modalities will be faster than others, but this is faster than anything I've seen. Like as a therapist, I always said like nothing is faster than EMDR, for those who are familiar with it. This is even faster than EMDR. So what would take me as a therapist, maybe let's say 6 to 8 months working on something, we can do in 2-3 sessions. Yeah. So one session you can work what would have taken you maybe 3 months, maybe even a lot more. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And what would you tell somebody that might be going through the same things you were going through as a little kid, with that fear? What would be your advice to somebody that maybe has a talent but has been in denial, or for the parents, or how to help somebody?
I would say that we are very lucky in the way that there's a lot more resources right now than there were back then. First of all, when I was a kid, the internet was something else, right? You needed to unplug. I'm showing my age, but I needed to unplug the phone line. And people are a lot more open about spirituality now. So there's like a lot of resources out there, books and podcasts and TikToks and YouTube, and just to not be scared and to always go to God and to the light, never to anything else. Even with the work I do with the Virgin Mary and sometimes saints, and all the archangels are always present in my sessions. Especially Archangel Michael is always with me. And even them, I don't connect with them directly. I first go to God, just to make sure I'm connecting with someone that God approves, that is sent, that God sent to me. And so just look for the light. And I would say don't get into anything that's like dark magic, interfering with other people's wills, like spells. I don't agree with any of that.
And then the question I always like to ask is, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, and you can pick the age, what would you tell little Eleany about everything you've learned, everything you've gone through, after everything you've learned, after everything you've gone through? What do you think she needed to hear?
Let me think. You're going to be okay. It's not your imagination. Everything you're seeing is for a reason. And all the signs you receive are true. And I hadn't mentioned this, but a lot of my development as a spiritual healer was, what I thought was psychology. And so I would get signs, and I thought that was a collective unconscious, that's something in psychology. And I thought it was my mind, giving me signs. Now I know it was God. And so what I would tell my younger self is like, all those signs you're receiving are true, and they're here for a reason. Listen to it and follow through, like action. And you are already brave, even though you don't think you are. You are already very brave.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that, and I think it's so admirable what you do,
Thank
Because
you.
obviously what you do is not something common. It's not something that maybe a lot of people accept or one don't even know about, right? Like we talked about, there's so many wrong thoughts about it and
Yeah.
these wrong
Misconception.
misconceptions about it.
Yeah.
So it's very brave of you to do it
Thank
and
you.
follow your instinct and all the work that you're doing helping others, because at the end of the day, I think you are fulfilling the mission. Like you said that you've always known that your mission is to help others, and you found the best way to do it, which is the work
Yeah.
that you do.
Thank you
So
so
that's
much. I
awesome.
appreciate those words.
No,
I really do.
I thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so open. I know it's not easy. Obviously, like we said, it took a while.
Yeah. Well, you make it easy. Actually, I thought it was going to be
Thank you.
harder. You're such a
No,
good
thank you.
person to talk to.
No, thank you for opening up. Thank you for sharing about this. And now we're going to have the demonstration.
Yeah.
We wanted to invite somebody that you don't know.
Yeah.
I know her. She's a friend of mine, but you've never met her. I've never told you anything about
Yeah.
her, just her name, which is
Yeah.
Mariana. As
Yeah.
well.
I'll be meeting her
so
today.
we wanted to show a little bit of what you do. Obviously, this is a shorter demonstration of what a session actually looks like.
Yes, it's just going to be like a short and sweet demonstration, probably just a reading.
Yeah.
And I did offer to follow up with her in the week to heal whatever we talk about, whatever comes up in the reading.
Thank you so much, Eleany.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the demonstration. But thank you, everybody, for watching one more episode of Momentos Voices. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the demonstration coming up.
I'm what a lot of people call a psychic medium. So yeah, so I'm able to connect to God. I think we all are. To me, it just comes naturally. Sure. And during the sessions that I offer, I connect to God, and I am shown your soul and everything that's going on around you. Typically, if the person is ready to heal, I am shown emotional wounds. Okay. And so during the reading, I'll tell you what I see, and then we talk about it, and then we do a healing. Obviously, for the podcast, we're just going to do a reduced version of that, so maybe a short reading. But as Mariana had told you, I'm going to follow up with you this week so we can, do a proper reading privately. Okay. So what are your beliefs? Like, do you have like spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs? Do you believe in anything, nothing?
Yeah. I would say I'm religious. So I was born and raised Catholic. So I definitely believe in God, believe in the saints, angels, heaven, hell. I believe that there's like a greater power, out there. But I don't like, as far as astrology and things like that, I know about it, but I wouldn't say I'm like a very firm believer in stuff like that, mostly because I don't have very good knowledge about it, not because of any sort of thing that I have personally.
And do you pray or do you talk?
I try to as much as I can, and I've tried to be better about like developing my relationship with God, and in a way that I can, right, and be open to it.
So I use the word God and the universe interchangeably, just so you know. And I do work with, I grew up Catholic too, so I work with the archangels, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Gabriel. And if you have one particular like saint or the Virgin Mary or someone you want to, like, you feel close to, you can tell me that too, and we can bring them in. Is there anyone in particular or no?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay, so I'm going to start the reading now. So if you can uncross legs and your hands as well. And all you need to do is like be open and give me permission. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to connect. And as I start talking, sometimes I open my eyes. Sometimes I keep them closed to concentrate. I may check in with you. I may talk for 10, 15 minutes straight. It's always different. It's always a surprise to me too. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. Do I have your permission to read your soul?
Sure. Yes.
So a lot of good things are happening in your life right now. Like, I see that a lot of hard work has come to fruition. However, you don't feel the excitement you thought you were gonna feel. It's like, because I see a lot of flowers around you, and flowers blooming represent, growth and things, like I said, coming to fruition. But in the center, you seem subdued, a little sad. You're looking inward instead of looking outward at what's going on around you. Does that resonate at all?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you, is your mom trying to get close to you?
I would say maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think we're trying to like work on things.
Yeah.
Now that,
Because I see her trying to reach out, not knowing how to reach you. But just this like almost desperate want to like be close to you emotionally.
Okay.
But I don't see you responding yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're holding on. Immediately, I can feel it in my heart and in my throat. You're holding on to a lot of past hurt, resentment in regards to her.
Yeah.
And she knows, and it bothers you that she knows and doesn't apologize, but she doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to. Like, she literally is doing the best she can. Like, actually, I can see her, like, her intentions are good. She doesn't know how to remedy. She doesn't know how to apologize in the way you need to be apologized to, in the way that you need to hear it. And to you, you're the kind of person where you don't show your emotions a lot. You just kind of go with the flow. People maybe don't know how to gauge when you are getting angry or when like you're getting up to here. And it's like she doesn't know how to reach you. And because of that, because when you do get up to here, you have a lot of patience and like you give people chances, you distance yourself slowly, but once you do, it's like they're out, right? And you're kind of checked out with your mom right now, emotionally. Not physically, you may still see her, interact with her, talk to her, but you are not responding emotionally, and she just doesn't know what to do. If you were to tell her, this is what I need from you, she will respond, but she's gonna need a lot of guidance. Like, if you say, I need to be apologized to in this way, she's gonna try, but it's gonna take time. It's gonna take like, I see 6 months of you being frustrated that she doesn't get it. Right? But from the way like God is showing me, you don't think she gets it, but also you don't get her, right? And like, you don't get that her upbringing was so different to yours, and you don't get that it's a privilege to be able to be mad at her and her kind of like begging to be in your life because she didn't have the same upbringing as you. And a lot of things that shaped who she is, she has kept close to her chest, both because it's hard for her to be vulnerable and because she doesn't want, to, I don't know, the word's not hurt. She just doesn't want to share that. And I don't read other people. Usually if someone comes and says, oh, can you tell me what so-and-so is thinking? No. But if God shows it to me, then, that's, I feel called to share that because it's going to benefit you and her. And so, I see 6 months give or take, time is always, it's like never set in stone, the future. But 6 months of her trying and you giving her guidance and saying, no, I need this kind of apology, or I need to see this from you. And towards like the 4-month mark, she may be a little frustrated. And then the ball starts rolling. And because I see when she gets a little frustrated and kind of like pulls back a little bit, then you're going to be like, no, wait. But things can absolutely be remedied between you two. And I say they because it's a combination of like God, angels, the archangels, my angels that give me the message, right? To you right now, this doesn't seem very relevant. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's just something that's going on, but it's not in your mind. But if this is the first thing that comes in a reading, it's very important. And it has to do with you not being able to enjoy everything that we talked about, everything coming to fruition. It's like, I don't know if maybe you completed projects or like you finally accomplished a goal, something like that. Maybe multiple, maybe you were waiting for this time of your life or this age or something, moving here, I don't know what it is, but you're not able to enjoy it. And this is the reason why. You think you don't care about what's going on with your mom, but the reason why you're so distant is because you care so deeply. Okay, so we're gonna do an exercise right now. If you go ahead and close your eyes. Are you open to doing a small healing and then we can,
Sure.
Yeah, do it further later? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and take in a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And you visualize this ray of light coming down, shining just for you. And this light is unlike any other light you've ever seen before. It's almost like it has glitter in it, bright white. And when it hits the top of your head, like a spotlight, you feel warm and loved and cared for. And you know this is God, the universe, the creator. When you allow God to move through you, going down your head, you're holding a lot of anger in your jaw. I see that being melted right now, if you give God permission to. Down your throat, chest, arms, hands, fingers, down your torso, going into all of your organs, every single cell in your body, covered in God's light. Down your legs and feet, and going into the earth, making you a connection between heaven and earth. And you see this light coming out of your body, like you're the sun itself, radiating sunshine. Your light combined with God's light. And you see that yourself at the top of a staircase. And there are 10 steps going down. 10, 9, 8. As you go down, you feel calm. And like this is where you were meant to be at this moment. 7, 6, 5. You see a hand poking from in between two white curtains that are at the bottom of the stairs. 4, 3, 2, 1. This hand is little. A little girl. How old is she? The first thing that comes to your head.
Like 10.
You see yourself as a 10-year-old. And you're in a park with trees that are tall and flowers. And as you sit down next to her, not in front of her, but next to her, you look right into her eyes and tell me how she feels.
Happy.
Okay. Ask her if there is anything she needs from you right now. Are you able to hear anything, or do you need help?
Maybe help.
Okay. She is happy, but she's wanting to pull you towards a 5-year-old who does need your help. Can you see her?
Vaguely.
Okay. So that 5-year-old is your inner child, and is the root of a lot of emotional problems, or the reason why you feel stuck in life right now sits with that 5-year-old. But if you see her vaguely, you're not quite ready to see her yet, so maybe this is not the setting. You're just gonna go hug her and tell her, I am here for you. And during the session we have in the week privately, we can delve into that further. So you explain to her that she is not alone, that you are here for her. And whenever you're ready, you let go. And let me know whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So you leave the 5-year-old and the 10-year-old there. And you come back up the stairs, taking one step at a time. 1, 2, 3. Coming back into your body. 4, 5, 6. Becoming aware of the present moment. 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath in, and whenever you're ready and at your own will, you can open your eyes. How was that?
Crazy. I feel.
Yeah. In what way?
I don't know. Just like very interesting, because I mean, I've never done anything like this. And so I don't know. Definitely feel like I'm a little bit in my head about, I don't know, how my reaction should be. Or maybe like if I should have seen more, right? Like in that moment.
In what we did right now?
Mm-hmm.
There's no should or shouldn't. If we had the full 60 minutes, I would have taken more time to take you there. Sure. And then some people readily see, some people don't, and the healing happens either way.
Yeah.
I like to first try to guide my clients to do it themselves. Sure. And if they can't see, then I do it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's very powerful to be able to do it. And I do have clients that after a few months of sessions, they all of a sudden start seeing. So, yeah.
But that was really cool, though.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.